Hey guys, it's Adrian, and I have another Otome video for you today. So today is a continuation of the Battlefield Waltz series, because that is the latest game I'm actually working on, and I'm gonna finish it, I promise. Yeah, I know Charade Maniacs, Anakare, what else? I have another one. I don't remember. Probably a Velvet Bite. Okay, so I did receive a review key for Battlefield Waltz, and then my life exploded. I got a new job that was difficult, and my cats got sick and had to be at the vet. So my life has been a nice little roller coaster for a little bit, and I really haven't had time to play as much as I would like. Um, Not that you're probably here to hear about that. But so yeah, so my life has like very much just been poof and crazy, and it's taken me forever to actually work on playing Battlefield Waltz, which is super disappointing because I was planning to knock it out much earlier than now. So I did Pash already, and there's another video on that, and with my old model. And then the next guy I decided to work on was Abel. Okay, so Pash. Pash was okay. He's really not my type. Like the Pash's like character type usually doesn't appeal to me in most games. So I went into Pash being like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna like this, and it's okay. It was better than I expected. But Abel was actually someone I was like, oh, I probably will like this guy. He is very much my type. He is tall. He has the dark hair. He's quiet. He's not a yandere, which is very much my thing. So that was a little bit disappointing. I don't know if there is a yandere in this game. I have a feeling there is not, but I don't know yet. Okay, Abel. Abel, Abel. I don't really know how to say his name, but oh well, that doesn't matter. Fake name. He's a fake character. So he is a wonderful, wonderful guy. He is the strongest person at Nirvana. So basically, whenever there are like battles and mock battles, he's basically the commander of everyone. So he's kind of serious, I would say. Um, Kind of direct. So he comes across as very, very cold, maybe a little judgy, and it's not that he's cold and judgy, he's just a teeny tiny bit socially awkward. So for reference, if you've played Ginso Mana J, he reminds me heavily of Sergey from that game. You could also make an argument. He kind of reminds me a little bit, in a very much smaller degree than Sergey, but he reminds me a little bit of Kent from Amnesia Memories. Um, and those are told like the only two guys off the top of my head that I'm like, they remind me of. Because like to be honest, once I finish the game, my memory wipes itself, and I don't remember what happened too much. So as far as comparisons, that's what I've got for the moment. So what you find out is he's kind of a big little loving sweet guy on the inside, and he's not really trying to hide it. He just doesn't know how to interact with people. He's kind of had a tough life, and as you find out about him, it kind of makes sense, to be fair. Okay. So he's just a teeny tiny bit, a little bit too direct. He's not trying to be a jerk, okay? He's not trying to be mean. He's not trying to act like he's stuck up. He's just, doesn't always use his words in the best way. So, as far as like, let's see, the common route is like 5 chapters. I believe like chapters 6 through 9 is his route. Um, he has one good end and two bad endings, which the bad endings are not like terribly bad. The bad endings in the game so far are really not that long. They don't go in much depth. So it's not like some other games like Olympia Soares where like those endings were kind of long and dark. These are usually like you die, he dies, someone dies, and usually just like it's pretty quick, done with. Um, so if you don't like doing bad ends, you can skip them, but they're not too bad. Now, one advantage of doing the bad ends is you get these little currency, these crystal things. You get like a 200 for doing the good end, and then like 20 for each of the bad ends. And then you can go to the shop thing and you can unlock like extra things, like extra CGs. So I do think for this game, it is actually worth doing the bad ends, even if you normally skip them, just so you can unlock the extra pretty pictures. So I like unlocking the extra pretty pictures. There are no CGs so far tied to any of the bad ends. I don't know if that's going to change for any other character, but it was not in the case of this route. Okay, so refocusing kind of. So his route, chapter 6 through 9. So far, the game kind of has a similar outline of like A to B. It's just like the key details that are different, but there are some like key moments throughout the routes that were similar to Pash's. Um, Kind of think of it like moments in time. This thing is always going to occur, but how it occurs and the situation around it is slightly different. So I don't know if that's just a going to be for like the first three guys that are initially unlocked, just because like the which is Ash, Abel, and Lustin, because those are like the initial characters that don't have their routes locked. I don't know if the other three are going to have like a different outline or what, but it seems similar so far. I assume the final character, which is Wilhelm, who is the sword, and it's not really a hidden route or anything. Okay, so I'm not mentioning spoilers saying this. I'm assuming his is going to be significantly different from everyone else, but I'm kind of curious how Nike and Tifalet routes are going to be structured. So, um, similar to some degree to how Pashes went, like there's not a lot of battles, there's not a ton of romance in this game. There's a lot of world building, there's a lot of learn about the guy, and but it's not an overly romantic game. Like I feel like Hanakari is a very romantic focused game, or Cupid Parasite I feel like was more romantic, or maybe like Olympic Asore. This one's more story based, kind of like Akinso Mana J. Okay. But I will say, when you do have the romantic moments, they were pretty cute. Like I thought the romantic moments in Pasha's route were really cute, and the romantic moments in Abel's route were also super cute. I loved it. I was like, oh, sweet. I was super happy to see it. So I'm very pleasantly surprised with how the little romantic aspects have been popping up in the routes. Also, another good thing, tons of CGs in this game. This is an older Otome, and if you've been playing Otome games for a long time, you've probably noticed that the newer Otomes do not have as many CGs. My assumption is to cut down on art cost, realistically. This game has a ton of CGs. Okay, so overall, did I like this route? I did. Is this game so far the best Otome I've played? No. My favorite is Cupid Parasite. I also really like Hanakari better. Um, I think I probably like Hakuoki and Amnesia better. This one, I'm guessing maybe like a 7 out of 10 for me. It's really hard for me to like put numbers onto Tome games, and then it's kind of hard for me to be like, hey, I like it or I don't, because usually I like most of Tome games. Okay, they're also usually long, so I feel like I get my money's worth. Granted, I did not pay for this one. I got a review key. But just like FYI, usually Idea Factory, I've been able to get um, I keep saying like I was about to say Steam key, and these aren't on Steam. These are on Switch. I've gotten several Idea Factory Switch keys for their games, and I've been very appreciative for that. I'm very thankful. I usually do end up going and buying the collector's edition anyway for ID Factory, just because like they're really freaking gorgeous and they have those little cards. So even though I have been given a review key for this game digitally to play so that I could play before, the game actually came out. Life situation kind of messed that up. I did actually go ahead and buy this one didn't get a collector's edition. It just got it like so like usually they're called limited edition. This one was like called plus edition or special edition. I don't know. They named it something else because it didn't come with all the bells and whistles. So that is still on the way, and that's going to be put away somewhere else for my birthday, technically in July. But so yeah, um, so is this my favorite game for Idea Factory? No, so far no. Um, but I'm curious to see where the routes go. I'm excited for Lustin's route. I'm doing that next. Nike, not so much. He's kind of just not my archetype to like. He could surprise me, but usually if I'm not like visually, if the guy doesn't visually follow my archetype, then it's kind of like eh. The only time that is an exception is like Yandere. So like for 9 rep, I really like Manami. Not my, character type physically that I usually like, but I really like Yandere apparently. So maybe Nike is a hidden Yandere. I don't know. I have a feeling not. And then so after that is Tifolet, which I'm pretty interested in. I'm also curious how Tifolet's route will be different. And then I'm also very excited for Wilhelm. Wilhelm? I am Wilhelm. I don't pronounce names correctly 90% of the time. That's just a me issue. Anyway, so yeah, Abel's route, pretty good. Enjoyed myself. Not super romantic. Very nice world building. He does have his own like quest. So while it followed a similar like outline to Pash, overall he does have his own story. I did find his story more interesting than Pash's, to be honest. Pash, there are some moments where I'm just like, you're kind of just like, I mean, you're like a 17-year-old boy and you're acting like a boy. Abel is a little bit more mature, so I appreciate his route a little bit better. Part of that is probably because I'm a little bit older. I'm an old lady. So yeah, so that's probably why. But if you haven't bought Battlefield Waltz yet, I mean, I'm always a big proponent of waiting for a sale. But also, I do feel like you will get your money's worth out of this one. And I do understand, like, we are drowning in Otomes at this point. Like, I'm drowning. I'm not going to be able to play all the ones that come out this year. I'm just be honest. I'm focusing the ones I get review keys for, obviously, because I'm being granted review keys for, so they should get a priority. But oh my God, we're getting so many Otome games, and I already have like a gigantic backlog. And then if you include the indies, it's like, oh my God. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. And I play other games. I play Final Fantasy 14. I play Infinity Nikki. I want to finish Dragon Age Felguard. I have all these other games I actually want to play. And I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time no more. I'm dying on the inside. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm rambling. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope to see you next time. And I would love for you to come watch me play games on stream. Sometimes I play visual novels, but not a ton because it's a lot of talking. But I do play online games like Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2 on occasion. I'm trying to get into RPGs. Like I really need to finish Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That's been procrastinating on that for a year. Okay. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm rambling. I hope to see you next time and bye-bye.